Hello, it's Friday the 28th. I'm FxPlew and this is the market brief. So, December 2021, that's when the Bank of England started raising rates. So they've been at it for damn nearly 18 months now, yet inflation is still over 10%. In any other job, they would have been on a performance review and probably out the door by now. Way back then though, the original plan was to raise rates to neutral as quickly as possible without causing undue damage to the economy. Hindsight suggests they could and maybe should have been more aggressive with bigger rate hikes earlier in the cycle. But where inflation rose to in the meantime, now we need restrictive rates to pull that back in line. And that means the key questions for the MPC now are: how high or how restrictive do they think rates need to go? How long do they plan to keep restrictive rates? And what risk does that bring to the economy in the meantime? Ultimately, can you engineer a soft landing is still a pretty big question to pose to a team on performance review, don't you think? Meanwhile, over in the US, we had Q1 GDP data out yesterday. Forecasters and anyone else hoping for 2% growth were in for a bit of a shock when the data came out at 1.1%. Meanwhile, those economists and analysts who have been long predicting a US slowdown stepped up onto team told you so. This data will of course be considered by the Fed at the next meeting next week, and while the market still widely expects a 25 basis point rate hike, the lower GDP growth may force the Fed to reconsider. Some analysts are already making calls for a rate cut before year end. In the market, sterling touched 125 against the dollar yesterday, but there wasn't much reaction to the GDP. Q1 is way in the past after all. Market focus is looking ahead to next week, where we have the April non-farm payrolls data on Friday. Get that one marked in your diary. After the Good Friday bank holiday robbed us of the sweepstake last month, next Friday should be a belter. This morning we opened around 124.70 against the dollar, about 113.25 against the euro. And euro dollar is around 110.10 this morning. It's the May bank holiday on Monday for us, so we've got a nice long weekend ahead of us, and you know the drill. See you next Tuesday. All the best.
If you do not have a clue, then just tweet through and ask FxPlew.